This Losi King Sling and its brother, the LMT. One of the things you see people do all the time is put metal bottom links on these trucks. And I'm curious if it's actually really an upgrade or not, or if you're just breaking something else, maybe more complicated, instead of those lower links when you put these metal links on. So in this video, we're doing a test. I'm going to put these Treal full solid links on half of the truck, right? So I'm going to install them on one half. I also have actually some 3D printed axle braces that we're going to put on while we're at it. And then we're going to go out and test it and see, does the side with the aluminum actually break? Does it break the axle housing instead of breaking the rod end itself? Are we just transferring a breakage from an easier to replace part to a harder to replace part? That's what we're testing here today. With the wheel off, installing these links is a pretty straightforward affair. You make sure that they are in fact the same length, and for something like the King Sling, they're actually the same length front and rear. Because I have 4 of the same thing to put on here. It is just one screw holding it in on either side. Take those out and then put the new one in its place. I am going to be taking more than that off though, because these 3D printed braces that I have do go underneath these clips here. So we're going to be putting those in and seeing how it goes. So I do need to take both wheels off, and then I'm going to be taking both of these off. But remember, I'm only putting the aluminum arms on one side. With both of the front links out of the way, then I can actually get to where this is going to go on. Still 2 more screws to take out these link mounts, and then this is supposed to press fit down in right over there and help give it some strength. I found this file on, I think it was on Thingiverse, and I printed it out of Ninja Tech Armadillo TPU. I used to have a set of these in carbon fiber from Freestyle RC, but they stopped selling them. They've been out of stock for a long time from Freestyle RC. And so now I'm going to try these 3D printed ones and see if they help at all. Note that they are a few millimeters thick. And so I'm going to watch the length of these screws as they come out. I'm a little bit nervous that maybe should have longer screws in there as I go through this. So we will keep our eye on that. So indeed, I do not believe that the factory screws are long enough. So I did happen to raid my screw bin and find some that are just a few millimeters longer. And I'm going to be using those to make sure I get enough thread down into that axle housing to not create a weak spot. Well, that was easy enough. Fit right on there pretty well. Yeah. Hopefully that actually does something. I don't know. Maybe all it does is scoop up dirt. I don't know. But the whole goal is that it helps to share the force between the two. So we have this on. We have the different control arms. I'm going to jump back here to the rear, and I'm going to do the same thing. Put one control arm on one side, put the brace on, and we will see what happens. The rear one's installed just like the fronts. No issues whatsoever. Just literally carbon copy mirror. Now we have solid aluminum on one side, factory on the other. I'm going to get the wheels on it, and then it's going to be time to go out and give this thing a drive and just see what happens. back from the test drive, and I am looking at this, that not only is the links both front and rear completely fine, but actually it turns out both links are fine, and this is fine, and the axle housings are fine. So seriously, I feel as if I really kind of put it to the test there, right? The backflips, the self-righting, the hitting into the wood, plus purposely crashing this thing, jumping it and purposely nosing in from, that's probably seriously 4 to 6 feet tall, some of those different jumps that I was doing there, and crashing it on purpose straight on the front end there, trying to get one of these links to break or the axle to break or something to see which side was stronger, and it didn't. Turns out neither. Turns out both. Turns out it's all fine. So not exactly sure what I would have to do actually to break one of these. I don't know. I know my buddy, literally talking to my buddy about him breaking the front axle a couple times, and you know, he's done that once he put solid links on, but he doesn't have this reinforcement here, I don't think. So maybe reinforcing this with those longer screws through there, maybe that really does make a big difference. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So thumbs up to this. I can provide a link to in the video description down below to where you can get both the links and where you can get that axle housing protector. And then you have to find a buddy, or if you have a 3D printer or a buddy that has a 3D printer, they can print them up for you and send them to you. So I hope this was useful for you. If you've been breaking axle housings, or if you have any concerns about that on your Losi LMT or King Sling, if you have any concerns about solid links making that swap over, I think it turns out you can do it, and it's okay. Just depends on how you drive and how wild and crazy you get. But thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Otherwise, I have an LMT playlist. You can go check that out over there. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.